This is a quick review of Chapter 9 on correlation and regression. In order for applicants to work for a foreign service department, they must take a test in the language of the country where they plan to work. The data below shows the relationship between the number of years that applicants have studied a particular language and the grades they receive in the proficiency exam. So X is the number of years a person was proficient with the language, and then Y will be the grade on the test that they receive on the proficiency exam. The questions are: calculate the correlation coefficient R, interpret its meaning, test the significance of the correlation using alpha equal 5% and rho positive. So he's asking you to test for positive correlation. Find the equation of the regression line. Use the regression line to predict the grade on the test if the number of years of a particular language has been studied is 9. So when X is 9, what would be Y? Calculate the value of the coefficient of determination R squared and interpret its value in the context of the relationship. So I'm going to do all those questions, guys, in one shot using StatCrunch. The first here is to input, key in the data into StatCrunch, making X the number of years X and the grades on the test Y. So I've already done that, so let me show you. So this is X, number of years, and these are the grades on the test. And now in one shot, I'm just going to do the entire question and then answer them one part at a time. So you just go to stat right there, and then you go regression, and then simple linear. Let me show you here. Okay, let me just show the screen. So select the X variable X, the Y variable Y. And now for the hypothesis test. When testing the hypothesis, the correlation is testing the slope. We want to test for positive correlation, so I select greater than 0. And we want to know what would the grade of the test when X is 9. You can put it right here and it will do it for you. X equals 9. Just hit compute and let me show you. I'm ready to answer all the question now with the output that we receive from StatCrunch. So R, the first question was find the value of R. So R is 0.9336. You can say there seems to be very strong positive correlation between the number of years a language was studied and the grades on the proficiency exam. The next question was find the equation of the regression line. The equation of the regression line was Y equals 41.35 plus 6.9. Let's say round to 3 decimal places. So it will be Y equals, you put a hat on Y just to say that this is generated from a sample, 41.351 plus 6.91x. Don't forget the X right there. The next question was part C, to test for positive correlation using alpha equal 5%. Okay. First of all, you have to state the null and the alternative hypothesis. Your null hypothesis will be HO rho is less than or equal to 0. And for the alternative hypothesis will be HA rho is greater than 0. Next to less than or equal to 0, you put no significant correlation. And next to HA, you put significant correlation. The test statistic T is 6.898 right here, guys. You can see it. And then the p-value is 0.0001, which is less than alpha. You reject the null hypothesis, so reject HO, and the conclusion will be there is enough evidence at the 5% level of significance to conclude that correlation is significant between the number of years a language was studied and the score on the proficiency exam. The next question, what would we estimate the score on the proficiency exam if the number of years a language was studied is 9? I already did that right here, guys. So let me show you. If I scroll down, see, when X is 9, the predicted Y is 103. Okay, that was the question right there. Oh, actually, uh, 103, but it did calculate that. But 9, guys, is outside of the range. You can see I didn't pay attention to that. That's why I did the calculation. I didn't look. So because 9 is outside of the range, you say this is not meaningful. So if I change this one to x equals, for example, 5, it will do it for me. And that, because you got 103, which it doesn't make sense. This is over 100. If those grades are out of 100. But anyway, because 9 is outside of the range should be as low as 3 and as high as 8. So I'm gonna change 9, for example, to 5, and then I'll use the model again, and I'm gonna show you that the model will work nicely for this. So let me show you. I'm gonna go to edit right here. I'm just gonna change the y value. You can plug it in, but you can also use uh, StatCrunch. So compute and watch, guys. When x is 5, okay. The score on the proficiency exam is 75.89. The last question is find R squared and interpret its meaning. You already did that in StatCrunch. R squared is 0.87. Change it to a percent, it will be 87%. And you say 87% of the variation on the grades on the proficiency exam can be explained by the variation in the number of years a person has studied a certain language. That's everything that you need to know in this chapter.